Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video in my fall baking series called Fall in Love with Baking. I hope you've been enjoying this series so far. I know that I am because I absolutely love fall baking, and today we're going to be making another favorite, a family favorite and a family recipe of mine. Today we're making pumpkin chocolate chip cookies. Now, before you turn up your nose and you're like, oh, pumpkin and chocolate, you've got to try this. These are really fluffy and moist, and they're unlike a texture you've ever had in a cookie. They're almost cake-like, and they are so good, and it's just a little bit of that chocolate with the pumpkin. They're not overly sweet. They're addictive. Seriously, like you'll make a batch and they're just gonna disappear. So let's make a batch. You need to start out with 2 sticks of unsalted butter. You wanna have that at room temperature, because we want to really mix this well with the sugars. Once your 2 sticks of butter are in your mixer, you want to add your sugars. 3/4 of a cup white sugar and 3/4 of a cup light brown sugar. Now this step is really important. We always cream together the butter and the sugar, but we want to make sure that when we cream it this time, it's really getting this lighter pale yellow color and texture. That is going to give these cookies a really excellent taste. You'll know you've mixed it long enough when you have no loose sugar, no chunks of butter. It should just look like one cohesive, almost dough-like with just these 3 ingredients. When you have that, then it is time to add our 1 egg and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And we want to mix this until it's just incorporated. Now it's time to add in our baking soda, cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg, just a little bit, and a pinch of salt. Not too much of anything here, because the pumpkin is really going to be the star. We're going to scrape down our bowl. This is my mom's recipe, and she would make it every fall, multiple times usually, but it was like a tradition. It's one of those things that like we had to have every year when the weather started changing. My sister and I were in marching band, and she would make huge batches of these for us to take for our entire bands. So, yep, I'm a nerd if you hadn't guessed. So these are tradition. And this is the recipe that I have been making with her since I was a kid, so I'm excited to share it with all of you. Okay, so we've scraped down the bowl. Now we're going to add in 1 cup of oats. This is the other thing that really changes the texture. It's not in an oatmeal chocolate chip way, but it gives it this fall harvest heartiness. I don't know how to describe it, but it is delicious. So we're going to go in with the 1 cup of oats and our 1 cup of pumpkin puree. They can go in all at the same time here. Let's make sure we get all of that pumpkin in there. All right, we'll mix this together, and then we're down to the last 2 ingredients. Finally, we have 2 cups of all-purpose flour. That goes in next. We're going to add this a little bit at a time and keep mixing. Okay, we have a nice thick dough, and now it's time for the final ingredient, and of course one of my favorites, semi-sweet chocolate chips. You want to do 1.5 cups of these, or if you're me, today we're just going to be measuring with our heart. You'll know when it feels right. Our cookie dough is all done. Isn't that pretty? And it smells so good. Now this is going to go in the refrigerator for 45 minutes to chill down. Chilling your cookie dough before you use it is a super important step that a lot of people skip when they're making cookies. By popping that in the fridge for 45 minutes, we're gonna chill that butter down, and it's going to start to solidify again. So then when we go to scoop our cookies and we drop them on the cookie sheet and they go in the oven, instead of the butter being warm and just starting to immediately spread and bake at that 350 temperature. It's going to be a much slower progression, which means your cookies are going to be fluffier and lighter, and we definitely want that for this recipe. But if you've ever had problems with your cookies spreading and getting super flat, especially chocolate chip, there are usually two culprits. One of them is the temperature of your butter. Yes, it really does matter. And the second one is you might have too little or too much of your rising agent. Usually in those two recipes, it's baking soda. You also want to make sure that your baking soda is fresh. If you only bake around the fall and the holidays and you don't use it that much throughout the year, you want to check the date on that and make sure that it's good, because baking soda that has expired is definitely going to affect the texture of your cookies. So I'll chill this and then we'll be back and we'll pop it on the trays and get some in the oven. And we're back. So the dough has been chilling in the fridge for 45 minutes. It's out, it's nice and cold and firm. So we're ready to scoop onto our cookie sheet. I have a small scoop. This is the smallest Pampered Chef scoop. But like I said, you can find versions of this at like Bed Bath & Beyond and stuff. I've said that in some of my other kitchen tools videos. And you're just gonna take a scoop of this and drop it on. Literally a drop cookie. Now, it's gonna make about 60 of these that are small. I like to make mine a little bit bigger, so I just have it mound over the scoop itself and then drop that on. If you wanted them to bake up a little bit more unified in how they look, a little bit more round, you can take your dough, wash your hands, clean hands, and just give it a quick roll so that it's round. Now it's gonna bake out a little bit more evenly. But if you just wanna drop them on, which is what I normally do, that's perfectly fine, and you'll end up with a really pretty rustic cookie. I'm gonna finish the rest of this tray, and then these are going to go in the oven for 8 to 10 minutes. It's a short bake at 350. Take them out, let them cool for about 10 minutes on the tray, transfer them to a cooling rack to cool completely, and finish the rest of your batch. Thanks for joining me in the kitchen today. I hope you had fun making my mom's pumpkin chocolate chip cookie recipe with me. I'm very excited to share that family recipe with all of you. That is down in the description box. So try it out, share it with your family, and who knows, maybe it'll become a fall tradition for you as well. In the description box, you will also find my information for my socials, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, so you can follow me and my baking journey and all of the things that I bake and make. Hot chocolate bomb season is here, honestly. I'm gonna start those this week, so I'll be doing a series of videos on those and how you can do them at home if you want, or how you can purchase them from me. If you haven't already, check out the rest of my fall series. If you love fall baking, basically if you love baking, you're gonna wanna watch the rest of this, so go back and catch the rest of those videos, or click one that I've linked here for you, and while you're doing that, don't forget to subscribe. When you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and then you'll be told every time I upload new content. If you like this content and you want to see more of it in your YouTube algorithm, give this video a big thumbs up and share it with someone who you think might enjoy it, someone who loves pumpkin, someone who loves chocolate, someone who loves baking, or just someone who loves you. As always, I hope you have a really sweet day.